What's going on, guys? Today we got a special guest, Nicole Raquet. Nicole, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for coming. I always like to kick these off with what got you into real estate.
So, essentially, I was a stay-at-home mom, and I had started to buy and sell my personal homes every couple of years because I got FOMO, and it was time to do that for other people so that I could kind of settle down a little bit. And so starting a career that was flexible, or so I thought, starting a career where I could still be super involved with my kids, but also thrive in a career.
So you started out actually being a FSBO?
No.
No? Mm-mm. So you would just buy personal homes, fix them up, increase the value, sell them,
Yes.
go to the next one. Okay.
Yes.
I thought you were, the epitome of what every realtor dreads is a FSBO.
Oh, no. I had an awesome agent before I became an agent.
You're with Compass right now. Have you always been with Compass, and what kind of led you to be with Compass?
So I have not always been with Compass, and I heard about Compass. It's actually the biggest brokerage and the fastest growing, but there is not a Greenville office. So I heard about it. There is a principal agent out of Savannah, Georgia, and she runs this massive team. She's incredible, super successful, an excellent leader, super involved. And so when I heard about her and kind of this expansion team that she was bringing to Greenville, and the fact that there's about 5 agents from Compass in Greenville. So I feel like there was a lot of opportunity for growth. There was a lot of opportunity to bring that value and that tech. But also, one of the biggest core values is collaboration without ego. And so that I feel is so different from a lot of other brokerages, and having more of a corporate structure versus a franchise where everybody's rules are a little bit different.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. What makes your approach a little bit different than an average realtor in a saturated market?
So I feel unique in the fact that in the beginning of my career, I felt like everybody needed to be my client. And really that scarcity mindset where I need everyone. And now I feel like real personal growth, which leads to career growth, has given me the opportunity to say, you know what, not everybody's going to be my client, and not everybody needs to be my client. So I think personal growth has been huge. As far as saturation is great. It's the value that I bring.
What kind of is your ideal client?
So my ideal client, I always say, like, my people come to me. And I feel like that changes a little bit as each season of my life has changed. So right now I always say, I've been saying, I'm in my strong woman era. And so I feel like these incredible women have come into my life, and whether they're relocating or they're moving locally, just getting them involved in all of these events that we're doing, and connecting them to the community. And it's been really, really cool. I had 2 clients that showed up at my daughter's dance recital last weekend and brought her flowers and brought their daughters. And so it's the community right now.
That's awesome. It's kind of like a law of attraction.
Yes.
Whatever phase you're in, you kind of attract that as well.
Yes.
That's cool. I love it. How do you use brand communication or community involvement to stand out in the upstate market?
So my brand has, recently changed. So I've been with Compass since October of last year. So, about 7 months. And so Compass branding has been really cool because we're offering things that nobody else can offer. And so it's going to be referral. So, you don't just get to become a Compass agent. You actually have to meet the requirements. And so it's not just anybody off the street. So when I'm working with referral partners across the country, I know that they're experienced. I know that they're really good at what they do because they were chosen to be part of this brokerage. So I think from a branding standpoint, it's, Compass is kind of where it's at.
Yeah.
The tech, the Compass One platform, the seamless transaction, and then the referral partners across the country.
That's what kind of led you to make that transition over to Compass?
Yes.
That's awesome. How do you handle clients with high expectations in a fast-moving competitive market?
It's service-based.
Yeah.
So I set clear expectations from the very beginning. I think that some clients still are saying, oh, well, my house should be under contract in 3 days. And I'm saying, great, let's look at the facts. Let's look at the data. Let's look at what happened last month. from GGAR, which is the Greater Greenville Area of Realtors. Let's go back to fact-based because it's not about my opinion.
Yep. How's the market moving right now?
It's a stable market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are some small but powerful things you do to make clients feel taken care of and heard?
So communication is going to be different for each client. So some clients want to text, some clients want to be on the phone, some clients want to email. And so I think understanding how they want to communicate is ideal for each client. It's going to be different. And then a seamless transaction. So having a TC, which is a transaction coordinator, so having them on the back end, because I'm not good at everything.
Yeah.
Paperwork from a transaction coordinator standpoint is not where I'm strong. And I think knowing where I'm weak and then leveraging is what brings value.
I love that. I just read a book. It was a John Maxwell book, and he talked about not even focusing on working on what you're weak at because you're just wasting time, because you're going to work all that time to get up to be normal at it when you could have just spent that same amount of time to focus on what you're really strong at and grow that strength. That's awesome. How do you demonstrate value beyond the transaction during, before, and after the deal closes, right? Like, how do you maintain that relationship to continue to get referrals from that client?
So like I said, I think it's community, like being part of the community and getting these people locked in is ideal, of course, for everybody, but that's part of why attracting my people is even more valuable, because we have the opportunity to go grab coffee, and I want to hear about your life, and I want to connect you to where your kids want to play sports, and I want to give you my opinion on different things. We have a client that just moved here from Michigan, and she's an attorney, and connecting her to real estate law firms because that's her specialty. It's just connecting. It's connecting everybody to the community and then connecting with them on a personal level.
Almost becoming friends or family.
They have become friends. Many clients.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What are some big challenges you're facing right now as a real estate agent?
So as far as challenges go, it's really client expectations. I think, on the listing side especially, I think people hear, buyers hear, oh, the market's gone cold, because on a national level in the media, everyone hears that, and it's just not true for Greenville. And so setting that expectation for a buyer, but then also on the listing side, they're saying, a couple years ago, my house is worth X amount of dollars. And I'm like, let's go back again to the data. Let's go back to the data and see what Greenville as a whole is growing at. And then let's break that down into your home. And it's all about clear expectations. I never want to tell somebody I can do more than I can do.
We love that. We kind of have the same motto, right? Like, we always want to make sure that we're, setting expectations up front, and that way we can under promise and over deliver.
Yes.
What are you most excited about building with inside your real estate business over the next couple of years?
Next question. No, I'm just kidding.
I was about to.
I'm just kidding. So this first, I'm in year 8 of my career. And so I think I started from nothing. I did not know what I was doing. And I didn't know how to run the business part of it. I didn't know how to give great service. Again, I had this big, huge mindset that everybody needed to be my client. And I wasn't being true to me, and I wasn't being authentic. And so my transparency wasn't there. And it took me a while to get there, to really gain the confidence through personal growth to be able to say, hey, I'm not for everybody. So from that, I think that I have had the opportunity to serve people really well. And then I want to be able to go more into a leadership role in due time. I don't think today is that day for me, but I think the brand that I'm with, the brokerage that I'm with, and then everything that I've been working on a personal level and continue to plan to work on is going to give me that opportunity to lead others.
So leadership role as in growing a team, or?
I don't know what that looks like at this moment.
How is it managing? So I know, how's it managing like that home life balance? I know you got kids. I see they play sports and do all kinds of stuff. How is that like? Because Realtor, like you said, you got into it because you thought flexibility, and then you had a little snicker because we all know Realtors work 24/7, right? Like, their clients have needs at any given time.
Yes.
So how do you manage that?
I don't. So, and what I mean by that is, you think, oh, work-life balance. It's never going to be balanced. Some days, my home life is going to get 20% of me, and my clients and my work is going to get 80. and that's okay. And then, there will be another day where things are just different. And so that day, my family life is going to get 80% of me. So as far as this 50-50 mindset or, this scale that's completely balanced, it's not a reality for me.
In a world where clients have access to Zillow and Redfin, how do you make sure your service still stands out, right? Like, a client's looking for a house, it gets farmed out to Zillow, they get a million realtors contact them. How do you stand out in that pool of realtors? Or do you use those kind of lead sources, or is it all referral based?
So I don't use those lead sources at all.
Okay.
So, as far as people using the apps themselves, I don't think that's service based at all. I think that's informational sometimes. Sometimes information is poor at best. But as far as the service goes, I'm not going to try to compete with 300 agents because first and foremost, I'm not a discount agent. And with so many agents in the greater Greenville area, there are discount agents. And I feel like that's really what people are looking for if that's their primary source of information.
So how are you grabbing your clients right now? Is it all just word of mouth and referrals?
Yep. Word of mouth and referrals.
And how did you build that up to where it's at now?
I think starting slow and not having really high expectations for my business. I looked at other agents when I first started and I saw that they were doing, 10 million in sales per year. And I was like, great, let's do it. And the reality just wasn't there. You're not going to build organically and also hit those high numbers when you first start. And so having the opportunity to give myself time to build organically has led to where I am today.
When did you start to notice that snowball effect where it finally did build up and the leads just started coming in?
So I heard that at year 5 is where things really start to snowball for you. And so it was about year 4 when things really started to pick up and I saw, okay, people are starting to refer me. They're starting to believe in me. My friends and family were like, oh, okay, she's really doing this. This isn't her hobby. Somebody once said that to me, like, I thought you were just doing real estate as a hobby. And I was like, very confused.
Do you work with out-of-state home buyers at all?
I do.
Okay. And so you got somebody coming in from out of state. Walk me through that process. Where are you taking them? What are you showing them? I know it's kind of based on what they like. Mm-hmm. But give me the general rundown of what your thought process is behind that situation.
So I actually have 2 right now, and I'll give you the one that's coming in May. So she'll be coming in May for a visit, which is really cool. So she has the opportunity to come and look around. So we know she's pre-approved, so we know where her budget is and where she's comfortable as far as a price point. And so I want to hear about what's important to her. Is it going to be, hey, I'm going to work over here and I want to be within a certain driving distance to that? Is it going to be schools? Is it going to be, some kind of, I want to be downtown or close to downtown? So it's all basically what that client needs, wants, and desires.
Awesome. Tell me about your most memorable real estate transaction.
Oh, my favorite. Okay. So, it's a girl that I've known for a while. I actually know her mom. And so she's 24 years old and her husband's a veteran and she's looking and she's like, I bought this house. I wanted to fix it up and it's just a money pit and I need to pull out. I said, okay, great. So we're selling that. Still kind of a fixer-upper at that point, but cool, let's do it. We look at a few homes, we put in a couple of offers and it's just not working. Like it's just not working. Great offers we're putting in and we're just getting outbid or, for one reason or another, it just doesn't work. And so she called me one morning and she said, so I haven't really told you, but there's this one house that I can't stop thinking about and it's a little bit over our budget. And I was like, okay. I was like, well, what's going on? She said, well, it's the house that my grandparents used to own. I said, why didn't you tell me this sooner? And she's like, I can't stop thinking about it. I said, well, it's on the market. Like, let's go take a look at it. So the morning of our showing, 3 hours before our showing, I get a phone call and they say, hey, we just went under contract.
Oh, no.
And she's heartbroken. I said, well, let's just go. He said, we can go for memory's sake and just walk through the house. And, I feel like just from what she had told me, like we needed that. She needed that. So we went ahead and went over there and we walked through and the neighbor came over and it was just like a really, really cool experience. And everything in the house was the same as when she was, 6 years old. And so carpet's the same, even down to like the drapes, the shower curtain. I mean, it was kind of crazy.
That's
like
crazy.
Things are the same. So, I let him know, I let the agent know, hey, if it falls through, let me know. It fell through. We got the house. We got it at the price point where she could afford it, because that previous buyer bought it from her grandparents. So it was just, we closed. She loves her forever home. Just the coolest.
That's amazing. It's like destiny.
Yep.
If people are looking for Nicole, where can they find you at?
Oh, you can find me. So I like to do some hilarious reels on Instagram.
I see 'em.
So you can go enjoy that. I try not to take myself too seriously.
Yeah.
And so I do some pretty weird stuff. So you can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook. You can call me. You can email me.
Awesome. Well, I can vouch for Nicole. She is amazing, and truly stands behind everything she does. So thank you so much, Nicole, for coming on, and I will see you soon.